What's up, blockchain? This is Nick from Truth Blitz. Hope you're all having a good day. So let's take a quick look at the market and we'll get into it. Right now we're at $426 billion overall market cap, which is good because we seem to be holding above the 400 billion mark. And we got Bitcoin at $8,744. Now we've been this high, or higher I should say, with Bitcoin in the last week or so, since we have kind of climbed out of our low down, I think it was the low 6,000s. We'll take a quick look at the chart in a second here. Actually, let's take a look. We had gotten down to, yeah, low 6,000s. So as I've said, we have been higher than that before. Over here we got to above 9,000. That was a few days back, and we got some resistance areas that seem to be the $8,500 mark. So yeah, hopefully we can continue to close above those areas and continue our ascend upward. Now, make no mistake about it, I am not a technical analyst. I don't know how to chart. I know basics, and that's it. So you know, if you want a full-on analysis, you're gonna need to talk to somebody like Crypto Blood or the others out there that have been in trading and finance for a significant portion of time, who really know what they're doing. Anyway, I want to get into this here. IMF chief Christine Lagarde says international crypto regulation is inevitable and necessary. Now, if they have it their way, we will have international regulation. All right, and I'm going to get into another article that kind of goes with this in a second. But for those of you who don't know what the International Monetary Fund is, it's just another one of those Rothschild-controlled entities that that really control what's going on in the worldwide banking and finance areas. I'm not going to get too into the specifics of all of that, but if you don't know about the IMF, look it up and do your research on them and who controls all that. You know, it's the same elites worldwide pretty much that control all of our money, and that is why they hate cryptocurrency. They hate the fact that a system was invented that kind of just bypasses their whole monetary system that they control. Because, well, why wouldn't they be scared? They're terrified of it. They want, if they had their choice, they would end this. And I don't foresee that happening now. I've talked about this numerous times. I've quoted Max Kaiser's comment about this. I've said the same thing. Numerous other people have said the same thing. We're too deep now. Okay, so in order for there to be any chance of them just outright banning crypto, there would have to be some cataclysmic event that would have to happen And I just don't see that. So they are going to aim to try to regulate the crap out of this, is what they're going to try to do. And with here in the States, with our Senate Banking Committee hearing that happened a few days back, a week ago, whatever it was now, if that was any indication of how regulation is going to go here in the States, maybe it's not going to be so bad. Not nearly as bad as in other countries. So we'll just read this quickly. The IMF and Christine Lagarde told CNN Money yesterday, February 11th, that regulation of cryptocurrencies is inevitable and necessary on an international level. When asked during an interview with CNN Money, emerging markets editor John Defterios about the increasing popularity of crypto markets possibly being caused by a starvation for high returns in the global markets, Lagarde replied that the trend showed a herd mentality of those looking for high-yield products as well as an element of speculation. Lagarde added that this trend was also fueled by dark activity, a reference for the potential of cryptocurrencies to be used for money laundering and other illegal online activities due to their anonymous nature. Before I read any further, all right, ever since Silk Road, Silk Road really kind of tainted Bitcoin and the crypto space as a whole as a result. So I understand why Silk Road was started and the libertarian approach to it, but because of that, Bitcoin still hasn't escaped its, the word I'm looking for here, still hasn't escaped its reputation, I guess I'll say, of, because Bitcoin was the only currency, the only form of payment accepted on Silk Road, it hasn't escaped that reputation. So, of course, they want to tie it to money laundering and illegal activities, but it pales in comparison to the money laundering and illegal activities that are carried out with fiat, okay? The banks like HSBC, Bank of America, all these banks that launder money for drug cartels, that are complicit in all of these illegal activities, but they want to target a relatively small, in comparison, amount of illegal activities that were carried out with Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies as a whole. So it's really bullshit. It's they are the most hypocritical people, bar none, for even insinuating this. But this is what they want the sheep, the ones who have their head in the sand, the ones who don't go against the grain, the ones who just listen to the mainstream media and comply with everything. This is what they want them to believe. Because if you get the non-awakened population to agree, then they have the majority of people saying, oh, well, yeah, we should ban Bitcoin or we should ban cryptocurrencies because it's primarily used for illegal activities. Bullshit. All right, let me continue with this. Lagarde herself was convicted of criminal charges. Oh, go fucking figure. In December 2016 for facilitating an illicit transfer of $400 million between Nicolas Sarkozy and Bernard Tapie. Although she has denied any wrongdoing, of course she fucking would. As regards regulation of crypto, Lagarde spoke of its inevitability and the need to focus on regulating activities over entities. It's clearly a domain where we need international regulation and proper supervision, because we need nannies and we need babysitters. We need to be supervised. I know I do. As early as October 2016, Lagarde told the Wall Street Journal that she sees banks adopting digital currencies in the next 5 years, while adding that regulation will be needed to prevent money laundering for fraudulent activities, unless it's them carrying out the illegal activities. That will be okay, just as it is now. You'll see very few convictions. You'll see very few arrests. But if we happen to do anything that can be misconstrued as money laundering or as illegal, they're going to throw the fucking book at us. And you can bet your bottom dollar that's what's going to happen. Just like, just an example here, insider trading, all right? The vast majority of U.S. senators and congressmen insider trade, but you will never see them convicted, all right? And these aren't yes, to an extent they are, but these aren't even the power elite. These are just elected puppets, okay? So anyway, let me continue. As a result, October 2016, blah, 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 I read that. In October of last year, Lagarde has expressed interest in the IMF possibly releasing its own cryptocurrency after her previous comments about the potential benefits for countries with weak national currencies to launch their own digital currency. As the crypto markets have seen a relatively volatile start to the new year, banks and financial institutions have become more serious about regulating cryptocurrencies. Several large banks worldwide banned credit card purchases of crypto. On the other hand, the Joint Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, and the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, hearing on February 6, gave off the impression that the future regulation must nurture the crypto sector instead of smothering it, like I said. So, I think that what is happening is they see that here in the U.S., they're not going to take it appears at the moment that they're not going to take a really overbearing and tyrannical approach to regulation. So they're going to push for international regulation, which in their eyes is going to trump our regulation in the United States. Okay, so that's how they're looking at it. Just as a lot of this stuff that these UN treaties and UN basically treaties and all these things that happen in the UN, in their eyes, again, trump our Constitution and our laws here in the United States. So if they can get some sort of international regulations passed, then, like I said, that's what they're going to try to do to circumvent it hasn't happened yet, but our soon-to-come regulation here in the States, if it doesn't fit what they want, and that is total control. Anyway, this shit pisses me off, so you might be able to tell. So this article here. 3 EU watchdogs warn over high risks of crypto investment. So this is kind of similar to what we saw in the States with the Senate Banking Committee in the hearing that we just had. So they're kind of doing the same thing in the EU, but it doesn't look as good for them. So 3 European regulators with oversight over securities, banking, and pensions issued a combined warning today to EU residents considering investing in cryptocurrencies, citing the crypto market's volatility, lack of regulation, and the potential for severe losses. The European Securities and Markets Authority, ESMA, the European Banking Authority, EBA, and the European Insurance and Occupational Pensions Authority, EIOPA, wrote a brief note warning investors of the high risks of buying and or holding so-called virtual currencies, collectively referred to as the European Supervisory Authorities, ESAs, or the European... Never mind. I'm not even going to... Anyway, I'll keep reading. The regulators state there is a high risk that investors will lose all of their funds if they chose to invest in cryptocurrencies, specifically noting that there is an apparent bubble in the markets currently. So their approach there in the EU is to lie and scare the shit out of anybody who is in or thinking of getting into cryptocurrencies, until they get their tyrannical legislation in place and regulations. So they continued writing, virtual currencies and exchanges where consumers can trade are not regulated under EU law, which means that consumers buying VCs do not benefit from any protection associated with the regulated financial services. For example, if a virtual currency exchange goes out of business or consumers have their money stolen because their VC account is subject to a cyber attack, there is no EU law that would cover their losses. The warning explicitly mentions Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple, while further noting that other cryptocurrencies are often sold without any information explaining their background or the risks in purchasing them. I'm really surprised that they mentioned Ripple, because that's their crypto. You know what I mean? I'm not going to read the whole article, but you kind of get the tone of it and the gist of it. They're taking a heavy-handed approach, and basically they want to FUD everybody out of the crypto space, or as many as they can. Because again, first of all, these Rothschild banking entities, these Rothschild banks are based out of Europe. Okay, so this is a huge, huge threat to their existence. Not saying that the crypto space is going to kill the Rothschild stranglehold that they've had over banking and finance for hundreds of years, but nevertheless, it is a huge, huge threat to them. And they know that. And all of these other agencies, whether you want to believe it or not, you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, and if you do, I highly fucking suggest that you do your own research and look into this shit yourself, because all of this is proven. Okay? All these agencies, all of these banks, the IMF, all of these regulatory agencies, everything is in some way, shape, or form controlled by these people. Okay? Governments, central banks, everything kind of goes back to them. And that's just the way it is. So if they can't kill it, they're going to try to regulate it out of existence. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be successful, but it's not going to stop them from trying. So anyway, I guess my rant's over for the day. I just wanted to, kind of bring you up to speed with what is going on. It's like every day now there's articles about regulation, upcoming regulation. It's just something that we're going to see, and we're just going to have to wait it out and find out, is the regulation, like I said, going to be heavy-handed, tyrannical, and overbearing, or is it going to not aim to smother the crypto space, but to help it grow in a healthy way, like it appears that the regulation in the US is going to look like. We honestly don't know yet. That could have been, for all we know, that could have been all for show. Okay, we're just going to have to wait and find out. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts for the future of cryptocurrencies? Because I'm still hopeful. I still have every faith that in some way we are going. Oh snap! We're going to overcome this, and we are going to be victorious. So, cryptos go green as market holds above 400 billion. Well, that's good. So let me know what you guys think. Follow me on Twitter at TruthBlitzMedia. Subscribe to the Block Party podcast. Link is in the description. Please. We are going to be releasing our episodes for Block Party on that channel only starting very soon. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit the bell so you guys can see the videos, because we got some good interviews lined up for you guys, some good episodes. So you're not going to want to miss them. And I'll see you guys next video.